Howdy gang, and welcome to August. I am so excited to bring you this pattern, which actually this was something that I created quite some time ago. And at the beginning of the year, I was trying to work it up for you guys then, and I just wasn't feeling it with the yarn that I had picked, I think is what it was. And I started working it up and I showed it to Becca, and I wasn't as excited about it. But then I was going through my stash looking for something else, and I forgot that I had this amazing yarn, which it's actually discontinued and I'm kind of bummed out about. It's from Loops and Threads, which you can only get at Michael's, and it's called Facet Stones. This particular one is called Blue Agate. Where's the name? It's on here. There it is. Blue Agate, which is a stone, a gem, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Okay. And I'm kind of glad that I didn't work this up with the other yarn that I was working with, because this one just totally came to life with this yarn. And the reason why I'm calling this Illusion is this pattern and how it's charted up and everything like that. When I designed this, I had something completely else in mind. And then as I'm working it up, I'm going, this doesn't look anything like what I have in my mind and what I had on paper. And that's why I'm calling it Illusion. And not only that, but because it literally looks like a flowing waterfall, and it kind of gives you that illusion depending on the yarn that you want to use for this. It'll give you that flowy effect. And it comes out with the bevels over here on the side, the points and everything like that. So I really love how this came together, and it's beyond simple. I mean, it's just what? Which is another part of the illusion. So for this particular one, I used my KB chunky 5/8 gauge. I only need 22 pegs for this width that I did, and as you can see, it actually comes out to a pretty decent width there. So just to give you an idea, if you have the KB loom, takes up that whole thing. So from point to point, it's actually about 7.5 inches from this point to that point. And this whole scarf, how long it is, it's over 6 feet, almost 6.5 feet, was only one skein of this, and this is 243 yards, and it's a medium worsted weight. It's more of like a bulky, if you ask me, because you can see how thick that is. So if you do have some of this and you've been sitting on it for a while not knowing what to do, boom, here's exactly what to do with it. All right, so we're gonna jump right into this, and this is so super easy. Again, you can do this as wide as you want. You will need to work with a yarn that it's going to show it off, but it's not going to be, you don't want it too thin. If you're going to go with a smaller gauge loom, that's okay, but I wouldn't recommend doing this with like a shawl and a cake, because that's way too thin, or the Hobby Universe, which is what I used for my Queen Bee. I would stick with at least a worsted up to, you know, depending on what size loom you're going to use, up to a thin 6. So either 4 or 5 or a thin 6. Okay, because you wanted to keep that integrity look of it and the thickness of it. It's like, I wish I could just get you guys to feel this, because it's just so awesome. Okay, so your cast on, again, for this one, I did 22 wide, and I want you guys to see how I marked my loom on this. So I used pink and purple, and my pink is going to be, I go from this side. So my purple is going to be my first 5 rows, or 10 rows really. And then my pink is going to be my second set. So 11 through 20. Now, you're going to cast on whichever you want to do. If you want to keep it like a regular scarf like I did, I just cast it on with the no hook crochet cast on. It's a little tighter than the E-wrap. It's totally up to you. There's no looming fleece. This is yours. Okay. The other great thing is this would look good really with any yarn, but if you have an ombre yarn like the Super Saver Red Heart ombre, or if you have some of the Facet Stones, or I'm trying to look at my stash and see, even with latte cakes, this would be great because it's a little thinner, but it's really pretty and it's super soft. Okay, keep that in mind. So once you've cast it on, again, I did mine 22 wide. You can do as wide as you want, but it needs to be an even number +2 for the end pegs. Okay, keep that in mind. The other thing I have to tell you is don't fight your yarn on this. Don't pull it, don't tighten it, don't tug it, don't do any of that. Let it just flow through your fingers for this, because you're going to want the lacy texture of this and how it flows to come out just the way this one is. So here's the verbiage of it. And your odd rows, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, they're all going to be knit, but you guys know me well enough. If you've ever done any kind of lace for me before, on the rows that you're going to knit, you're always going to set up for your next rows that require like yarn overs and knit 2 togethers. That way you don't have to fight your yarn going back. After you've already knitted everything off, then you have to go back and move everything. No, we're going to knit, and then we're going to go right at that spot, and we're going to move the ones that we need to do as we've knit it past. So you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So this is the verbiage of it, but this is where I'm going to blow your mind. Boom. So we're going to look at, I'm going to put this here for a second. We're going to look at the first 10, and as you can see, they are all the same. So I'm going to fold this over real quick. That way it makes it a whole lot easier. Okay. As you can see, 1 through 10 is all the same. So on, you know, peg 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, you know, they're all yarn over and then knit 2 together. And then the even rows are knit. So with this one here, when you're knitting across, you're setting up for these ones here that require you to move. So after you knit, you know, you have your turn and wrap on your edge pegs. And then here, after you've knit off the first 2, go and move the one from 2 over to 3. So as you're coming back, you can easily grab that and knit those 2 together. And then you're setting yourself up and it flows real easy. So 1 through 10, and this is where the illusion part is going to blow your mind. When I originally designed this, I designed it because I wanted to kind of look like a little bit of a shift where you had these, you know, basically 5 sections, because you're counting, you know, your knit back as one, to be here, and then the next section to be here, but it automatically gets that slant, that tilt, that zigzag look to it. Now let's look at 11 through 20, and you'll notice that everything shifted. So whereas down here we yarned over, knit 2 together, here we're going to SSK and yarn over. So for those of you who aren't too familiar with that, we're going to move this back, and that's going to have 2 on it that we knit 2 together as we come back on our next row. So 1 through 10, we're going to yarn over, knit 2 together. 11 through 20, we're going to knit 2 together, SSK. And even though that all looks like it should be in a straight line in both of these sections, it creates this, which is why I call it the illusion. Because it looks like it should be one way, but then it comes out looking like this. So it's like a magic trick. All right. And you guys know me well enough to know that I like to give you guys these charts for those of you who are visual learners. And I always put the written part in here for those of you who prefer the written part as well. So there are my little tips for you. You have your abbreviations and everything over here. This literally works up in no time at all. It took me less than 2 days to do the entire length of this scarf. This is a great last minute throw together as a gift that anybody would love. It works up super quick, and it's one of those pieces that everybody is just going to go, wow, where did you get that? Because it's gorgeous. So there you guys go. This is the illusion scarf. I can't wait to see what yarns everybody picks to choose on this and work something up. It's really, really a great piece. And like I said, there is absolutely zero overthinking on this, because you're just going to go 10 rows one, and then the next 10 rows another. And that's it. So again, thank you all so much for continuing to take this journey with me, and for having enough love and support and faith in me to continue to create amazing things for you all. I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys inspiring me and pushing me and motivating me to continue creating new things for you all. So thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Happy looming. Love you bunches. Bye.